Did you know that 70% SaaS companies start with monolithic architecture, but as they scale, most switch to microservices to meet their growing demands? Today we are tackling this tough question. Should your SaaS stick with a monolith or transition to microservices? Let's dive in and figure out together. Choosing the right architecture for your SaaS product is like choosing between a sedan and an SUV for a road trip. Both have their strengths, but the one you pick depends on where you are headed and how many people you are bringing along. In this video, I will unpack monoliths versus microservices, and by the end, you will know which architecture fits your product's unique needs. But before we jump in, make sure to subscribe to our channel if you are interested in SaaS, AI, tech, and product strategies. There's a plenty more where this came from, so let's dive in. Imagine this. You have launched your SaaS product on a tight budget. Your user base starts growing, but suddenly you hit roadblocks. Updates take forever to deploy and scaling becomes a nightmare. This is the monolith dilemma. It's a great start, but without proper planning, it can become a bottleneck as your product grows. On the other hand, there's microservices. They offer flexibility and scalability, but the learning curve can be steep and managing them feels like herding cats. This leaves SaaS founders wondering, should I start with simplicity or future-proof for scale? Let's dive deeper into the pros, cons, and the real-world examples. So let's discuss the two architecture in detail with some examples to make it more concrete. Monolithic architecture, what are the benefits? Easy to develop, deploy, and test because everything is in one code base. Ideal for startups with small teams who need to prioritize speed. For example, Basecamp started as a monolith to launch quickly and focus on product market fit. And it's perfect for apps with limited scope like internal tools or single-use applications. What are the challenges? As the code base grows, managing dependencies and adding new features gets messier. For instance, a small update might require redeploying the entire application. To give you a real-world example, Shopify started as a monolith to build a robust foundation for their platform. But as they scaled to millions of users, they shifted to modular approaches to address scalability issues. Now let's look into the microservice architecture. What are the benefits? Allows individual services like billing or analytics to scale independently. This is why giants like Netflix transitioned early. They needed to handle millions of users streaming simultaneously. Teams can work autonomously on separate services. Think of Amazon, where the recommendation engine and the payment gateway operate independently. Flexibility to use different tech stacks for different services. For example, you can use Python for AI models while sticking to Node.js for the real-time features. Now, what are the challenges? Managing inter-service communication is complex. Debugging and ensuring all services talk to each other seamlessly can be a nightmare. Setting up robust DevOps, CI/CD pipelines, and monitoring tools like Kubernetes and Prometheus is essential but resource intensive. And here is a real world insight. Uber transitioned from monolith to microservices. They experienced improved performance and reliability. But the move introduced service sprawl, requiring them to invest heavily in monitoring and orchestration tools. So here are some more examples which helped in decision making. Like Slack used a hybrid approach. Slack initially operated as a monolith, but modularized its critical components over time. For example, its messaging system was separated to ensure reliability during peak loads. Spotify's featured teams model. Spotify's move to microservices was driven by its global user base and frequent updates. Each team owns one microservice, ensuring speed and efficiency. So you should start small and plan big. Third, start small and plan big. Companies like Airbnb follows a modular monolith strategy. They start with a monolith, but write their code in a way
that easily can be broken into services later.
So how do you choose? Here are the decisive factors. Number one, growth projections. If you expect rapid scaling within a year or two, microservices might be worth the investment from the day one. But if you are in the MVP phase, start with a monolith. Number two, budget and resources. Microservices requires a skilled DevOps team, monitoring tools like Datadog, and orchestration tools like Kubernetes. If these aren't in your budget, a monolith might be safer. Number three, team size and expertise. Smaller teams usually thrive with a monolith, but as you grow, the division of labor in microservices can increase productivity. Number four, feature flexibility. If you start with a monolith, ensure it's modular. Tools like Django or Laravel are great for building a modular monolith that transitions easily to microservices when time comes. So in summary, monoliths are perfect for speed and simplicity, while microservices excel in scalability and fault tolerance. The best choice depends on your product stage, growth, and team expertise. Remember, starting small doesn't mean you can't scale big later. So now it's your turn. Have you worked with monoliths, microservices, or both? Share your experience in the comments and I'd love to hear your insights. And if this topic interests you, check out my next video on how to build scalable SaaS infrastructure like a pro. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more actionable content.